I want to go to... No, that's not right. Does that sound familiar? You're sitting at home, maybe at your kitchen table or in your bedroom, full of motivation to improve your English. You have the books, you have the apps, you have the desire. But when it comes to the most important part, speaking, you have no one to talk to. You open your mouth to practice, but the words feel clumsy and unnatural. Or maybe you just feel a little silly talking to yourself. If that's you, I want you to know you are not alone, and you are in the perfect place. Stay tuned, because today we're going to unlock the real secrets to practicing English effectively, all by yourself. Hello, and welcome back to the English Listening Podcast. I'm your host, Harry, and as always, I'm thrilled you've decided to spend some time with us today.
And I'm Charlotte. It's absolutely wonderful to be with you again.
This is the podcast designed specifically for English learners like you who want to improve their listening skills and overall fluency through natural and engaging conversations. We're here to help you understand real English, the way native speakers actually use it in their everyday lives.
That's right. We cut through the complicated grammar rules and focus on the practical side of language learning. And in today's episode, we're tackling a question that is probably one of the most common and most important that we receive. How can I practice English alone at home?
It's a fantastic and critical question. Because let's be honest, while classroom learning is great and finding a language partner is wonderful, the vast majority of our learning journey happens when we are by ourselves. Those quiet moments are where the real progress is made.
It's so true. Many learners feel stuck or believe they are at a disadvantage because they don't live in an English-speaking country. They think, if only I could move to London or New York, I'd be fluent in no time. But the good news, the really liberating news, is that this is a myth.
It really is. Your brain, this incredible organ that is learning this new language, doesn't know if you're listening to a podcast in California or Rome. It just processes the input. I once heard someone say, immersion is a behavior, not a place, and that has stuck with me ever since. You can create that immersive, language-rich environment right in your own home.
What a powerful way to put it. It's about the actions you take, not your geographical location. So today's episode is all about those actions. We're going to give you a complete toolkit of simple, powerful, and genuinely fun techniques to boost your English skills on your own. We'll cover everything from building confidence to speak aloud to turning your home into a personal English language school.
So, if you're ready to take control of your learning and discover the best way to practice English alone at home, grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's get started.
All right, Charlotte, let's dive right in. Before we get to the really detailed techniques, I think we need to address the elephant in the room. For so many people, the biggest single obstacle to practicing alone is the psychological barrier. It's that feeling of being awkward, shy, or even embarrassed talking to themselves.
Oh, 100%. It's a very real feeling. We're socially conditioned to speak to someone. When there's no one there, our brains can kind of short-circuit and think, "What are you doing? This is strange." People will think you're crazy if they hear you.
Exactly. You catch a glimpse of yourself in a window reflection, passionately describing your day to an imaginary friend, and you immediately stop. This internal critic is often our worst enemy. But here's the fundamental truth we have to accept. Speaking is a physical skill. Just like learning to play the piano or learning to dance, you have to physically do it. You need to train the muscles in your mouth, your lips, and your tongue to produce English sounds smoothly and automatically.
That is the perfect analogy. You can't learn piano just by reading about it. You have to put your fingers on the keys. And you can't learn to speak just by listening or reading. You have to make the sounds. So, our first set of techniques is all about making that physical practice feel more normal and effective. And the first classic piece of advice is a great place to start: speaking in front of a mirror.
Ah, the mirror technique. It sounds so simple, but it is profoundly effective. The act of looking at yourself while you speak creates a feedback loop. It simulates having a conversation partner, which can trick your brain into feeling less self-conscious. You're not just talking into the void, you're talking to you.
Precisely. And it offers a huge practical benefit: visual feedback. You can literally see how your mouth forms the shapes for difficult sounds, like the sound in think and that, or the difference between the v and w sounds. You can watch a native speaker in a video, then watch yourself in the mirror and try to copy their mouth movements.
So how should someone start? What should they talk about?
Start simple. Don't try to deliver a complex political speech on day one. Begin with greetings. Say, hello, how are you today? And answer yourself. Then move on to describing your appearance. My hair is brown. I am wearing a blue shirt. It feels basic, but you're just warming up those muscles. Then you can graduate to talking about your day. Today, I woke up at 7 a.m. I had coffee and toast for breakfast. Now I am practicing my English and I feel a little silly, but also determined. Being honest with your reflection can even be a bit funny and helps break the tension.
That's a great gradual approach. And it's not just about the words, it's about nonverbal communication. You can practice your facial expressions, your hand gestures, your posture. It helps you build a more confident English persona.
Exactly. Now, if the mirror feels a bit too direct at first, our second technique is a fantastic low-pressure alternative: reading aloud.
I love this one. The beauty of reading aloud is that you don't have to worry about creating the sentences yourself. The grammar, the vocabulary, it's all there for you. Your only job is to give it a voice.
And the material you choose can completely change the exercise. For basic pronunciation and rhythm, start with children's stories. The language is simple, repetitive, and often rhythmic. For intonation and emotion, try reading poetry or a scene from a play. For more formal language and complex sentence structures, read a news article from a reputable source like the BBC or the New York Times.
You can even find scripts from your favorite movies or TV shows online. Trying to read the lines of a character you love can be incredibly fun. It gives you permission to be dramatic and play with your voice in a way you normally wouldn't.
That's such a fun idea. The key is to think of it not just as reading, but as a performance. You are an actor performing a monologue. This mindset shift can make it feel less like a chore and more like a creative activity. And to make this technique 1,000 times more effective, you need to add our third technique: recording yourself.
Oh, the dreaded voice recording. Is there anyone on earth who actually enjoys the sound of their own recorded voice?
I doubt it. I still cringe when I hear my own voice played back. But in language learning, your smartphone's voice recorder is your most honest and valuable coach. It tells you the truth without any sugarcoating.
That's the perfect way to put it. We often don't hear the mistakes we're making as we're making them. Our brain knows what we meant to say, so it hears it that way. But the recording is objective. It captures what you actually said.
So here's a structured way to do it. First, find a short audio clip of a native speaker reading a paragraph. Let's say 30 seconds long. Step 1, listen to the native speaker a couple of times. Step 2, record yourself reading the same paragraph. Step 3, listen to your recording. I know, it's hard, but do it. Finally, step 4, listen to the native speaker again, and then immediately listen to yourself again.
That comparison is where the magic happens.
It really is. You'll suddenly notice things you were completely unaware of. Maybe you're not pronouncing the S sound at the end of plural words. Maybe your intonation goes up at the end of a sentence when it should go down. You can focus on one specific thing to improve, like the pronunciation of the R sound, and re-record just that one sentence over and over until you hear an improvement.
It's active, focused, and incredibly efficient. You're not just guessing, you're getting real data on your own speech. And a final technique for this section, something a bit more lighthearted, is singing.
Yes, music is an incredible language learning tool. When you sing, you learn the natural rhythm, the linking of words, the reductions, all the things that make English sound so fast and difficult to understand at first. In songs, going to becomes gonna, Want to becomes wanna. You learn this casual, connected speech without even realizing it.
And the melody and repetition help vocabulary and phrases stick in your memory in a way that just reading a list never could. There are fantastic websites and apps like Lyrics Training that turn this into a game. You listen to a song and have to type in the missing words, which is great for your listening skills too.
So, to recap our foundation, it's all about getting physical and finding your voice. You can do this by practicing in front of a mirror, reading aloud with performance in mind, using your phone to record and analyze your speech, and having fun by singing along to your favorite English songs. These steps will build the confidence you need for everything that comes next.
In the first part, we focused on the foundational skills of producing sound and building confidence. Now, let's move on to the next crucial layer: input. To speak good English, you need to be consuming good English. But we're going to talk about how to make this a truly active process, transforming your home into an immersion zone.
This is where you really start to live the language. And the easiest, most immediate change you can make is to change the language settings on your devices. Your phone, your laptop, your tablet, your social media accounts. Switch them all to English.
This is such a simple tip, but the psychological impact is huge. Your phone is probably the first thing you look at in the morning and the last thing you see at night. By changing the language, you're making English the default setting for your daily life. You'll learn common tech vocabulary like settings, notifications, inbox, and newsfeed without any effort.
And it's a constant, gentle reminder of your commitment. Some people might worry, what if I can't find something important? My advice is to start with the device you know best, like your phone. You already know where everything is based on muscle memory, so you'll be learning the words through context.
An excellent point. Now, let's talk about a more intense active listening technique. It's a bit of a buzzword in the language learning community, but for good reason. It's called shadowing. Charlotte, can you break down what this really means?
Of course. Shadowing is a powerful exercise where you listen to a native speaker and you repeat what they say in real time, just a fraction of a second behind them. You are literally their shadow. The goal is not to understand every single word, but to mimic the sounds, the rhythm, the intonation, and the flow of their speech as closely as possible.
It sounds really challenging.
It is. It's an intense workout for your ears and your mouth, but it's perhaps the single best exercise for improving your pronunciation and sounding more natural. It trains your brain to process English at native speed and your mouth to produce the sounds with the right musicality.
So, what's the best way to do it? Can you just put on a movie and start shadowing?
You could, but it would be very difficult. It's better to be more strategic. First, choose the right material. You want something with a clear, single speaker talking at a relatively normal pace. TED Talks are fantastic for this. Podcasts, like this one, hopefully, are also a great resource. Audiobooks can work well too.
And what's the actual process?
I recommend a stepped approach. First, listen to a short clip, maybe 30 seconds to a minute, without doing anything. Just get a feel for it. Second, listen again while reading a transcript. This connects the sounds you're hearing to the words on the page. Third, now it's time to shadow. Play the audio and start speaking along with it. Don't worry if you miss words or mumble. Just try to keep up with the speaker's rhythm. You can do this many times with the same clip. Each time you'll get a little smoother.
It's like building muscle memory for speech. You're not thinking about individual words, you're copying the entire melody of the sentence.
That's the perfect way to describe it. And this leads us nicely into our next topic, which is actively consuming media. We all love watching movies and TV shows in English, but it's very easy to slip into passive watching, especially with subtitles in our native language.
The dreaded native language subtitles. They feel helpful, but they can be a real crutch. Your brain gets lazy and just reads instead of listening.
Exactly. So the first step to active watching is to make a brave choice. Turn them off. Or, as a compromise, switch to English subtitles. This is incredibly beneficial because it forces you to connect the spoken sounds with their written form, which is great for both listening and spelling.
But we can take it even further and make it a real study session.
Absolutely. I recommend the listen, read, listen method. Choose a short scene from a show or movie, maybe 2 or 3 minutes long. First, watch it with no subtitles at all. Just try to get the gist, the general idea of what's happening. How much did you understand? Maybe 50%? That's fine.
Okay, so that's step 1.
Step 2, watch the exact same scene again, but this time with subtitles on. Now you can see all the words you missed. Have a notebook ready. Pause the video whenever you see an interesting new word or phrase and write it down. Look up its meaning. Really analyze the language.
And the final step?
Step 3, watch the scene one last time with no subtitles again. The difference will be amazing. You'll be shocked at how much more you understand. That scene has now become a deep learning experience, not just passive entertainment.
That is a fantastic, structured approach. It turns Netflix into a language classroom. And this same active approach can be applied to podcasts and audiobooks. Don't just let them be background noise while you're driving or cleaning.
Right, engage with the content. After you listen to a podcast episode, pause and try to summarize the main points out loud. What was the main topic? What were the key arguments or tips? What was your opinion on it? You could even keep a podcast journal where you write a short summary and note down any new vocabulary you learned. This act of retrieval and summary is what cements the new language in your brain.
We've talked about building confidence with your voice and actively consuming English input. Now for our final discussion segment, we're going to focus on creative output, the techniques that help you move from repeating and analyzing to creating your own thoughts in English. This is where you really start to think in the language.
This is the ultimate goal, isn't it? To stop translating in your head and just let the English flow naturally. Our first technique for this is an expansion of something we mentioned earlier, the narration technique.
Right. This is about describing your own life as it happens. But let's get more specific. How does this work in practice?
You can think of it in levels. Level 1 is just simple statements. As you're making your morning coffee, you say aloud, I am walking to the kitchen. I am opening the cupboard. I am getting a mug. I am pouring the coffee. You're basically acting as the narrator of your own documentary.
The documentary of my life. I like it.
Level 2 is adding details, feelings, and opinions. I am walking to the kitchen and I'm feeling quite tired this morning. I am opening the cupboard to get my favorite blue mug. It makes me happy. I'm pouring the coffee and it smells wonderful. Now you're practicing a much wider range of vocabulary and expressing personality.
And what's level 3?
Level 3 is asking yourself questions and answering them. Why am I using this blue mug today? Oh, I remember. The red one is in the dishwasher. What am I going to do after I finish my coffee? I think I need to reply to that important email. This creates a full internal monologue in English. It is one of the most direct ways to practice thinking in English because you are literally verbalizing your thought process.
It bridges the gap between thinking and speaking. What a brilliant method. But what if you're in a public place or you just don't feel like talking?
That's where our next technique comes in, journaling in English. Writing is a powerful tool because it's a slower, more deliberate form of output. You have time to think about your sentence structure and choose the right words.
And it's completely private. There's no pressure, no fear of making a mistake in front of someone.
Exactly, and there are so many ways to do it. You could keep a simple diary. Today, I went to work. I had a meeting with my boss. It was a good day. Or you could try a gratitude journal, where each day you write down 3 things you're thankful for in English. This is lovely because it focuses on positive vocabulary.
I've heard of free writing. How does that work?
Free writing is a fantastic exercise. You set a timer for, say, 10 minutes, and you just write in English without stopping. You don't worry about grammar, spelling, or even making sense. The pen never leaves the page. If you can't think of what to write, you literally write, "I don't know what to write. I don't know what to write," until a new thought appears. It's about overcoming the fear of the blank page and getting your thoughts to flow in English.
It sounds very liberating. What if you get stuck because you don't know a specific word?
That's a common problem. My advice is don't stop writing to look it up. Instead, try to write around the word, describe it. For example, if you don't know the word corkscrew, you could write, "I use that metal tool with the spiral thing to open the bottle of wine." You've successfully communicated the idea. Later, you can go back, look up the word, and learn it. This is a crucial skill for real-life conversations, too.
It is. We do that all the time in our native language. And to take writing a step further, you can use creative writing prompts.
Yes, this is a way to push yourself beyond just writing about your daily life. You can find thousands of prompts online. Things like, describe your dream vacation in perfect detail. If you could have any superpower, what would it be and why? Write a letter to yourself 10 years in the future. These prompts force you to use different tenses, hypothetical structures, and a wider range of vocabulary.
It's a creative and fun way to challenge yourself. All of these techniques, narration, journaling, creative writing, are building blocks for the final, ultimate goal of consciously thinking in English.
That's right. Thinking in English isn't a switch you can just flip. It's a habit you build over time. All the other techniques are the training for it. You can start small. Dedicate 5 minutes a day to intentionally thinking in English. When you're walking down the street, instead of just observing things, try to form sentences about them in your head. That's a tall building. I wonder what it's like to live on the top floor. That dog is very fluffy.
You're internalizing the narration technique.
Precisely. You're building an English-speaking world inside your own mind. And the more you do it, the more automatic it becomes. Eventually, you'll find yourself thinking in English without even trying. That's the moment you know you're on the path to true fluency.
Wow, Charlotte, that was an incredible amount of detailed, practical advice. We've covered so much ground today, from the first hesitant words in front of a mirror to the complex inner world of thinking in English.
We really have. It might seem like a lot, so let me try to summarize the key takeaways for our listeners into a clear action plan. We basically broke it down into 3 main stages. First, the foundation, finding your voice. This is all about overcoming the psychological barrier and getting comfortable with the physical act of speaking. The key techniques here were speaking in front of a mirror to build confidence and get visual feedback, reading aloud from different kinds of text to practice pronunciation and rhythm without pressure, recording your voice to objectively analyze your speech and track your progress, and singing along to songs to learn the natural flow of connected speech in a fun way.
A perfect summary of the starting point. Then we moved on to the input phase.
Exactly. Our second stage was active input and immersion. This is about surrounding yourself with English and engaging with it actively, not passively. Our tips were changing the language on your devices to make English your default, practicing the powerful shadowing technique to mimic native speakers and improve your prosody, using the listen, read, listen method to turn watching movies and TV shows into active study sessions, and engaging with podcasts and audiobooks by summarizing them afterwards.
Excellent. And that brought us to the final and most advanced stage.
That's right. The third stage was creative output and thinking in English. This is where you move from repeating to creating. The techniques were the narration technique, describing your daily life out loud in increasing detail; journaling in English, using free writing or prompts to practice written output without pressure; creative writing prompts to challenge yourself with new vocabulary and grammar; and finally, all of this leads to the ultimate goal of consciously making an effort to think in English.
That's a fantastic roadmap. The most important message here is that you are in control. You don't need to wait for a speaking partner or a trip abroad to make huge progress. By consistently applying these strategies for how to practice English alone at home, you can create a powerful and effective learning system right from the comfort of your own home.
And just like that, we've reached the end of another episode. We sincerely hope that you found these detailed tips on how to practice English alone at home useful and that you feel empowered and inspired to try them out.
Please remember that this is a journey, and consistency is far more important than intensity. Don't try to do all 12 of these things tomorrow. Just pick 1 or 2 that sound exciting to you and commit to trying them for 10 or 15 minutes every day this week. Small daily habits are what lead to big results.
So true. If you enjoyed today's episode and found it valuable, don't forget to subscribe to English Listening Podcast on whatever platform you're using. And if you can, please leave a comment or a review. We read every single one, and it really helps our channel grow.
We would love to hear from you. In the comments, tell us, which of these techniques are you most excited to try first? Or do you have another secret method for practicing alone that works for you? Share it with the community. And of course, please share this episode with your friends who are also learning English.
Thanks so much for tuning in and making us a part of your English learning journey. Until next time, happy listening and happy practicing.